Okay, so Beetle front suspension, inner bushes. I was asked about where did I get the bushes, where did I get the tools. So the long and the short is I made everything. So this is an example of the one bush. This was a bit of a flop, so I had to restart. But I started with, let me just go get here. Yeah, that's still what I made. I started with a chunk, because this is all what I had. A chunk of phosphorus brass. Used a hole saw, cut out. So I had that. And then I put it in the lathe and I cut this thing. Probably got the measurements, I just got to look. But basically, there's a chamfered shoulder to let the control arm move in. I put an oil line, and well, I didn't put it on this one, but I actually put a scrolling oil line, but not all the way through. So as the suspension goes up and down, it gets it. But yeah, a piece of phosphorus bronze, and that's that. Then I've got the different tools I've made. This one is to pull the outer bearing. So you put it in, outer bearing comes out quite easy. With some washers, you push this thing in. Like I said, you can see it collapses and it does everything. But you can get it in, and once it's in, basically I use this plate, you can see, to center, and I pull bit by bit, or a space, and yeah, it comes out. That's to the outer bearing. Quite a simple thing. Okay. To get the inner bush, I use this tool. Again, just a piece of threaded rod. You can see it's been used quite a couple of times. One day I'll have to make one. Same principle. Got this piece of thing with a little hole. The reason I've got a hole is so that I can use my long piece of wire just to like get it in once it's through. Sometimes it doesn't want to collapse itself. I take a long piece of solid wire and I keep it collapsed. And again, it won't go through because this one is oversized, never cut to the correct size. But yeah, let's just see one hand, but you got the idea. That would come on, that would go in there, and once it's in there, it would be behind there, and yeah, you can then tighten this. That centers on the tube, and it would pull it out. And to put it back, well, I've got this long piece, because we pull right from the other side. It's a long piece of threaded rod. I've got two pucks. One is for a different car suspension. This one is for Beetle. Basically, it would go in there. I said it's slightly, this part is slightly narrower than the bush. And then this part is, again, must be slightly narrower than the center. What's going to happen as you're pulling it into the beam, this is going to actually squash, and the ID is going to get narrower. And I only discovered that if this is too exact, that you actually jam everything in the tube. So it's got to be a little bit of space, that when this collapses, that this can still move in and out, and that's why you need to ream it afterwards. But anyway, the idea is, again, as per usual, it's pulling in from the other side, so it would go this way. You would start with your bearing, your bush. Bush goes first. Then I would put that, because remember, that would center on that. And then this is just a fancy washer come whatever. Fancy washer come, difficult with one hand. Fancy washer come spacer come lock nut. So I'd put that on. And then, depending what I'm going to use, even that works. just that. And then, yeah, that there again would go onto the other side's tube. And again, as you tighten that, it just pulls this whole thing shorter until it goes and sits fuss. There's little metal ears inside the tube that will stop that from going all the way. But yeah, that's what we've done. Everything's all homemade. Cool, hope it helps. Okay, and then just a little add-on, because on the ball joint suspension, the exit, the very outside of the lower tube is a bit wider and the top one's a bit narrower. You'll see these things are dual-sided. See there, and then the same there. It's dual-sided. Just the one being a bit narrower and the one being a bit wider to accommodate for the different thicknesses of tubes. That's about it.